Ponce Pacpaco, and I'll be moderating our event. Today, we are blessed to have two prosecutors from the House, 11-man House Prosecution Panel, and a member also of Young Guns. I'm honored to introduce House Deputy Majority Leader and Iloilo 3rd District Representative Lawrence Defensor, House Assistant Majority Leader and Lanao del Sur 1st District Representative Zia Alonto Adjong, and One Rider Party List Representative Rods Gutierrez. We hope after the press conference, some of your concerns and issues are answered, and they can provide clarity to the issues about the impeachment complaint. So before I call the first reporter who will ask the question, let us allow our honorable guest to give their short opening remarks. Sir Lawrence.
Good morning, everyone. Magandang pagkakataon ito na maliwanagan ang ating mga kababayan tungkol sa impeachment complaint na ifinail. It was transmitted to the Senate yesterday, and I hope that this will be a good opportunity for evidence to be presented by both sides para matapos na po ang mga aligasyon at mabigyan ng liwanag ang sambayanan. Maraming salamat po.
Kong Sia.
Well, I'm also blessed to share this table with two of our prosecutors, Congressman Lawrence Defensor and Congressman Rods Gutierrez. Ako po'y nakikiisa sa aking mga kasama po dito sa House of Representatives na ito pong pagkakataon na ito, itong umagang ito, na maliwanag, tama nga yung sinabi po ni Congressman Noel Defensor, maliwanagan at mapag-usapan ay isang bagay na sa ngayon ay pinaka-importanteng issue na ng ating sa publiko at ating sambayanan. So I'm happy to be here with you to join these two prosecutors, and I am looking forward to answering all your questions later on. Marami pong salamat. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh.
Kong Rods.
Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. I understand this is a very momentous occasion for everyone, and there will be a lot of questions. It's understandable, and we'd like to take this opportunity to clarify any concerns that you may have. We understand as early as yesterday, with the news breaking out, there was a lot of disinformation, a lot of confusion, and we hope to clarify some of that. Although we'd like to limit, hopefully, to avoid speculation po, no? Mahirap na po yung mga haka-haka. So we'd like to stick to the facts, and we'll do our best po to answer your questions. Thank you for this opportunity po.
Thank you, sirs. For today's first question, may call on Tina Panganiban Perez from GMA 7.
Good morning po, sirs. Senate President Chis Escudero said that Congress has to be in session for the senator judges to take their oath. So ibig sabihin po, sa June pa po tayo mag-i-impeachment trial. Now my question is primarily for the prosecutors po. How will that affect your preparations? Will there still be strategizing during the break? Also, hindi ko naman po sinasabing matatalo kayo, but what if one of the 11 prosecutors could not make it to the 20th Congress? Baka umabot sa 20th Congress yung trial? Also, is that possible that the trial will continue into the 20th Congress?
For sure, and definitely, our preparation will continue. We will continue to strategize how to approach the trial. Magkakaroon po tayo ng information campaign din para sa ating mga kababayan para maintindihan nila ang proseso ng impeachment, to simplify it so that every citizen can understand the process. Igihan po natin, no, na planuhin ang bawat article of impeachment na malatag ng simple, klaro para sa sambayanan at sa mga magiging husgado sa Senado, while the impeachment complaint has been transmitted to the Senate. And the Constitution provides that once it has been received by the Secretary General of the Senate, trial should proceed forthwith. We will respect the institution of the Senate, how they will interpret forthwith, no? Kung gaano kaaga nila aktuhan ito, we will respect that. Pero sana matuloy lang ang paglilitis na ito because this is the perfect opportunity for all parties especially the Vice President. This is the perfect opportunity for her to be given due process, for a chance to lay down the evidence in her favor and to clarify things during the trial. Kung tatanungin po ninyo, kung June na magbubukas at magkukonvene ang Senado as an impeachment court at kakapusin ng oras, tatawid po ba ito sa susunod na Kongreso? It is possible, and yes, we will leave it to the Senate and to the rules of the impeachment court, because what adjourned yesterday was our legislative calendar. Ibig sabihin, natapos po ang pag-exercise namin ng aming legislative power as Congress and as Senate. And an impeachment process is a sui generis or a class of its own. Kakaiba po itong proseso and it's not part of the legislative process. Nasa Senado po yan, how they interpret that. And since it is not part of the legislative process, pwede po nating sabihin they can convene anytime that they are ready without waiting for session to open on June 2. And since it is not part of the legislative process, their rules may state that it may cross over to the next Congress. I heard the Senate President's interview earlier this morning, and he said that they will prepare first, and we respect that, and they have to update their own rules of impeachment, and we also respect that. So we leave it up to the Senate as a separate body and as an impartial body to be judges in the impeachment court, how they will proceed with the impeachment process. Rog?
Sir, ay, sorry po. Baka lang gusto niyo nang sagutin, sir, yung what if one of the 11 or some of the 11 will not make it to the 20th?
You want to answer? Sure.
I believe po, like sinabi po ni Kong Noy, that would really depend on the Senate and their rules. But as far as I guess we understand that it's just a position that is elected, and should there be a change in the composition, because we have to understand the Senate is a continuing body. The House of Representatives is not. If ever we have a new composition of the 20th Congress, then I think they will just elect a new set of prosecutors, if ever. It does not stop the process. As Kong Noy mentioned, sui generis, this is a special instance of a constitutionally mandated function of Congress. So I think patuloy pa rin naman po yun.
Tama si Congressman Rodriguez. And it would also depend on the Senate rules of impeachment. Kung meron po tayong isang kasamahan sa House of Representatives na hindi papalarin at hindi makakatuloy sa 20th Congress, if the Senate rules on impeachment will provide that private prosecutors can participate during the impeachment trial, then maybe they can continue as private prosecutors. So it would all depend on the impeachment court once they convene and they set forth their rules of impeachment.
Dadagdag ko lang po no sa mga dalawang prosecutors po natin. I think the Constitution speaks about the Congress, the House of Representatives tries, and then the conviction is on the Senate mandate po, no, according to Constitution. But sa pagkakaalam ko po, the process of the impeachment is not, it's not really tied up with particular members sitting in a particular Congresses. That's why it's very, kumbaga kung titingnan niyo po sa Constitution, it's the Congress. So meaning to say, it's the institution that tries and convicts. Number two, as far as the impeachment or the Senate convening into an impeachment court, tama nga po yung sinabi po ni Kong Noy at saka ni Kong Rog, that would depend on the rules that they would adopt. Because since magko-convene po sila sa impeachment court, nakita po natin during the time of former President Estrada and former Chief Justice Corona, they have adopted their own rules. So maybe that's the reason why Senator SP, Jesus Escudero, is trying to convey to the public that they're preparing because they need to adopt first yung kanilang rules. But sa amin po dito sa House of Representatives, we really respect the position of the Senate. As para naman po sa amin dito sa House of Representatives, we have established yung constitutional mandate po dahil may 30 complaints na binigay po sa atin dito. Pangalawa, yung urgency po ng complaint na ito. As long as we did our job and we have we have shown to the people that indeed the issue on impeachment complaints that were transmitted or that was endorsed to us, yung 3 complaint, were given primacy in credence and were given also their due value. So yun po yung ginawa natin dito. Pinakita lang po natin na when it comes to issue of impeachment, the dictate of the dictation of the Constitution is of top priority of the legislators here in the 19th Congress.
In addition lang po, no, Ma'am Tina, in addition also to the answer of Kong Noy in relation to the preparations of the House, as we mentioned, the House will not shy away from its constitutional duty. Verily, we have already initiated the impeachment complaint as mandated by the Constitution. And in addition to that, we will not shy away from the preparations too. As we speak, the House leadership is already preparing the impeachment secretariat. So we will be prepared if ever the Senate does indeed interpret that they could proceed with trial as early as March. We will be ready. If they decide that it will continue after June 2, well, we'll be even more ready. So yun na po siguro.
Sir, follow-up ko lang po yung impeachment secretariat. Who will compose that and what will their duties be?
To answer that po, no, it's still not clear. Of course, it's been a while, but the impeachment secretariat will cater to all the needs that the House would have in relation to the sui generis proceedings. So I think it would be from the top down regarding logistics, regarding support. It should be separate from the legislative function of the House. So that's all that we could say po siguro at this moment.
Thank you po, sirs.
Thank you, Tina. Let us move on to the next question from Net25, Big Sumintak.
Morning po. Just a quick follow-up lang po. Among the 11 congressmen prosecutors, may we know who will be the lead prosecutors?
We leave it to the leadership of the House, who will be the lead prosecutor, and we will respect that. And we're fine with anyone who will be chosen as lead prosecutor.
Thank you, Vic. Bibian Gulia from ABS-CBN.
Good morning, Kongs. Tama po ba yung intindi ko sa mga answers ninyo kanina? Okay lang po sa inyo na June na mag-start after the elections yung trial. There's no call to hold the trial during the break?
Since the Constitution provides that trial shall proceed forthwith, if we interpret forthwith, dapat po sana as soon as possible yon. But since the Senate is an independent body, and we respect their independence, being a bicameral legislature, we will leave that to the interpretation of the Senate. I will refuse to comment on how they should act because they will be judges in this impeachment trial. And we accord them with the utmost respect and that they should act with utmost impartiality without any influence from the prosecution or from the respondent or the defendant. So, sana po maagapan ang pagsimula kasi the sooner that the evidence can be laid down, the sooner that due process can be exercised, the sooner can the issues pending before us can be resolved. So, sige po, sana po maagahan dahil handa naman ang prosecution team.
But, sir, so as you mentioned, it's written in the Constitution that trial should proceed forthwith. But can you point us to a specific rule lang po or part of the Constitution where it states that the Senate can hold the trial even when Congress is on break po?
When you say forthwith, hindi nakasabi doon kung saan sa Constitution na pwede may break. Every year before session opens, every legislative Congress, kunyari 19th Congress, the Senate Secretariat and House Secretariat together with the duly elected Speaker, inuupuan muna nila yung legislative calendar for that year. While it's not clear whether we can proceed with the impeachment trial during the break, we said earlier that the impeachment trial is a sui generis, o kakaibang proseso po ito. It's a class of its own. And it is not bound by the legislative calendar. It's purely a political question on how Senate would proceed with it. So, yan po ang sagot dyan, no? Hindi po nakatali yan sa black and white. And we will see how the Senate would react on and act on the impeachment complaint.
Sir, baka lang din po meron kayong comment dun sa sinabi ni SP Cheese na unfair na madaliin sila dahil 2 buwan daw po inupuan ng House ang impeachment complaints.
Well, again, we respect the position of the Senate President. In fact, it has been explained naman po ni Congressman Noy that they have their own rules. We don't want to at least influence the impartiality ng mga senator judges. We will just wait for the Senate to convene as an impeachment court. Sa amin po, as long as we have already relayed and we have displayed the urgency and the priority that we have established that these impeachment complaints should be given primacy and should given priority, it's up to the court, no, the impeachment court, the Senate. When will they convene as a impeachment court? So yun lang po yung amin. There's no prescriptive time naman po, prescriptive time na sinabi po sa Constitution that once it is filed, once it is transmitted to the Senate is bound to, for example, a certain number of days to convene as an impeachment court. So it's up to how the Senate will define and will act on the wordings of the Constitution na sinasabi po shall act forthwith. As far as we are concerned, we take that as immediate and urgent.
Okay. Sir, doon naman sa mga prosecutors, paano po yung hatian, division of labor doon sa 7 articles of impeachment? Sinong congressman ang mag-handle ng specific articles po?
As of the moment po, wala pa pong assignments po of which prosecutor will be handling which articles. I think this is something to be discussed further down as we form the full impeachment secretariat po.
Your reaction din, sir, na parang yung mga ibang mga kamag-anak ng ibang senador ay hindi po pumirma doon sa impeachment complaints. Parang doon sa mga kamag-anak, 3 lang po yung pumirma. But most of them hindi po pumirma doon sa complaints. May implications po ba ito on the... Well, how would you interpret that?
I hope you'd understand we'd refuse to comment on that po. Especially given that these are our colleagues and we respect their opinion, every representative has the right to conduct themselves as they see fit for their constituents. But one thing's for sure po, the numbers are very clear. This is more than 1/3 required. There is a supermajority, so to speak. Yun na po yung impeachment complaint po natin.
Just to add, legally, it will not affect the impeachment complaint. It will not affect the impeachment trial. And the cold neutrality of an impartial judge by the Senate and members of the Senate would be better preserved siguro kung may ganyan.
I-add ko lang, it just goes to show na yung mga lumalabas po na mga fake news at mga rumors na merong sa apilitan, na merong nagkakaroon po ng pag-influensya sa ating mga miyembro, ito po yung nagpapatunay na ang bawat isa po sa amin ay nagdesisyon base ho doon sa kanilang pag-appreciate ng merits ng complaint na ito.
Last na lang po. Your comment, sinabi raw po ni Duterte Youth Party List Chairman Ronald Cardema, alleges funds for later release were promised to the 215 lawmakers who signed the 4th impeachment complaint against Vice President Duterte.
Again, kaya po ang committee, ang TRICOM ay nagko-conduct po ng investigation at inquiry in aid of legislation dahil po precisely because of these rumors and this chismis and this fake news na lumalabas po doon sa ating lipunan. Wala pong katotohanan sa mga sinasabi na ganyan. We would like to again to focus on the impeachment complaint. Ito po ay diversionary tactic na ginagawa po ng mga tao o grupo na ina-assail po nila yung integrity ng House, yung merits nung kaso o nung complaint na ipinasa po natin, tinasmit po natin sa Senate. Gusto ko lang pong ipaabot sa ating mga kababayan na we should be focused on the complaints, on the articles of impeachment. Wag tayo magpapadala at maniniwala sa mga diversionary tactics na ginagawa po ng ilang grupo po. Kaya nga po tayo inaagaran natin na magkaroon po ng batas para ma-regulate po natin at mabigyan sa solusyon itong mga fake news po na lumalabas, disinformation, malinformation, and misinformation po na lumalaganap sa ating lipunan. Isa na po itong mga balitang ganito.
Thank you. Next question, Krisa Subing-Subing from Inquirer. Go ahead.
Hi, sir. Slightly different question naman po. Can you give us an inside story po on how the votes were mustered yesterday? Kailan po nakuha ng mga mambabatas po yung or kailan kinonsolidate, kailan binuo yung fourth complaint, and paano po nag-gather ng support to endorse the complaint?
Well, admittedly, this is a long time coming po, no? Each congressman, although there was no talk of impeachment, they've already formed their own opinions from the hearings of the Quadcom and the Good Government committees. And I guess this was, accumulated into the first three impeachment complaints po, no? But the first three did not gather consensus. It did not gather momentum needed. And while the most congressmen, especially the members of the Justice Committee, were eagerly awaiting po to fulfill our mandate by hearing it in the Justice Committee, I believe the party leaders po have already thought of finding consensus between the three. So they took the best parts, took out the parts that they feel were not agreeable to other members, and that was what was presented. And finally, yesterday, it resulted in the impeachment po, the initiation of the complaint.
There were party consultations, and considering that there were three previous impeachment complaints filed, nakabuo ng mas matatag at mas klarong impeachment complaint na nakakuha ng suporta at kumpiyansa ng mga congressmen. That is why with this fourth impeachment complaint, which is clearer, where the evidence is presented in a stronger manner, it gave confidence to more than 200 or 215 congressmen to act as complainants in this impeachment complaint. So unti-unti pong nabuo at getting the best of the three previous impeachment complaints, as earlier said by Kong Rog.
Idagdag ko lang po, no? Simula po nung tumanggap po tayo ng mga complaints, 3 pong complaints ito, impeachment complaints, wala pong choice ang miyembro ng House of Representatives kundi bigyan po ng pansin itong complaints na ito, because it now borders our constitutional mandate. It's a question of whether we act based on our constitutional mandate na mabigyan pong pansin itong complaints na ito. Number 2, ang alam ko po hindi lang 215. Meron din pong mga miyembro na nag-submit po ng kanilang mga signatures, no? Kung titingnan po natin nasa 225 na po kung di ako nagkakamali. But the signatures that appeared to be initially published in the media at saka yung nalakap po natin ay 215. Those are the members who were physically present during yesterday's filing of the fourth complaint. Meron din pong abot ng kanilang suporta or sa complaint na ito. Although I don't know how they would be able to be included in as complainants to amend the 215 to make it the 225 kung di ako nagkakamali. But that would depend on, I guess, on the court, on the Senate acting as impeachment court, whether they would allow such amendment to the complaints, number of complainants.
May follow-up lang po. Sir, kailan po nag-start yung mga party consultations po on consolidating the fourth impeachment complaint po? And does that mean that essentially the congressmen have already made up their minds, even though President Marcos himself has signaled na ayaw niya pong ituloy ang impeachment process because madi-deprioritize yung mga priorities ng Marcos administration?
We thank the President for respecting the separation of powers and respecting the independence of Congress. And we also respect the decision of the Executive Department. As far as party consultations are concerned, it's been ongoing since the first impeachment complaint has been filed. Internally, depende sa partido. Depende sa kanilang approach. Kung magtatanong sila internally kung may pabor ba sa impeachment, ano ang klase ng articles of impeachment ang nakakarapat. That is why nabuo itong fourth impeachment complaint where there is a consensus of more than 200 members who signed kasi mas malinaw itong impeachment complaint at mas matatag ang paglatag ng mga articles of impeachment.
Thank you, Krisha. Next question from Billy Vegas of Abante Politico.
Kung may mga kumakalat sa social media, may kapalit daw na ayuda yung pagpirma niya.
Well, as you mentioned po earlier, no, that's why we had this press conference because we understand with the events of yesterday, a lot of misinformation and disinformation will be spreading around. Categorically, we're going to, I don't know, it actually dignifies this answer, but we're going to have to categorically deny such allegations in the same way deny yung allegations po from the chairman ba yun, ng may FLR. This was an independent action. We believe that's done faithfully and truthfully by each member, that they signified their intention and support of the impeachment complaint based on the merits of the case and nothing more. Yun lang po siguro.
Just to add to that, no, ito po ay nagsimula na po ang smear campaign sa prosesong ito. Actually, ako personally, I actually expect that a lot of misinformation and fake news will be coming out, no, after the filing of the complaint, no. So ang gusto ko lang pong i-reiterate at panawagan sa ating mga kababayan, wag ho tayong madadala sa ganitong klaseng fake news. Kasi ito po ay paraan para ilihis kung ano po yung talagang merits nitong prosesong ito. Yung mga complaint po, meron pong betrayal of public trust, meron pong mismanagement and yung utilization ng pondo ng bayan, meron pong issue dito na whether as highest or second highest official of the land would be allowed to contract an assassin to kill a sitting president, the Speaker of the House, and the First Lady. Yun po yung mga nandu sa articles of impeachment. So gusto ko lang pong ipanawagan sa ating mga kababayan. Kung meron po tayong nababalitaan ganito, ito po ay mga diversionary tactics. Ililihis po nila yung attention natin doon po sa proseso and at the same time to smear, to degrade, and to put question in our mind na ito pong prosesong ito ay hindi tama. Yun po ang gusto nilang ma-achieve sa mga ganitong fake news at misinformation na lumalabas.
Kung I understand kung babanatan kayo ng mga critics, kaya lang meron kasing post dito si Congressman Lordan Suwan. Ang sabi niya, to my supporters, I know you stand with me. Rest assured na ayuda is coming.
Well, yes, kanina pong umaga nakausap po namin si Congressman Lordan Suwan. Unang-una po, dinideny po niya categorically na hindi po yan totoo. Isa po yan sa paraan na sinasabi ko nga, mga fake news. In fact, I would personally expect na meron pong lalabas din na mga balita tungkol sa akin. So ito po, sabi ko nga po, simula po nung nagkaroon tayo ng impeachment process, unti-unti pong lumalabas ito na pinipreempt nila po yung magiging resulta nito at dinilihis po nila yung atensyon ng ating taong bayan. I would personally say that Congressman Lordan Suwan is one of the most decent members of the House of Representatives. Hindi po niya ugali na kung basta-basta lang siya maglalabas ng ganong klaseng information na alam naman po niya na po pwedeng makasira sa kanya. Number 2, wala pong katotohanan yan, yung mga ganyang balita na meron pong ayuda na kapalit. Ito po ay isang constitutional obligation na binigay po sa amin ng Constitution. Hindi lang ho ito prerogative, hindi ho ito discretionary power. Ito po ay mandato at obligasyon ng bawat isang miyembro ng Kongresong ito para ipaabot sa Senado na kung meron mang hindi magandang gawain ng isang opisyalis specified under the Constitution, the President, the Vice President, Ombudsman, mga Justices of the Supreme Court, COMELEC, andun po, enumerated po yung mga official na to. Kung meron pong complaint galing sa ating taong bayan, remember, 3 complaint po ito, wala pong choice ang membro ng House of Representatives but to hear and make sure that these complaints will see the light of the day.
May dagdag lang po, no? This is setting aside yung impeachment issue po muna. I'm I'm speaking not as a prosecutor, but as a member of the TRICOM, as mentioned by Kong Zia, this just highlights the importance of the hearings that we are conducting there. This is a prime example of how misinformation and fake news are used not only to disrupt the personal lives, but the public functions of our government now. So I hope that yung sa ating mga kababayan, we continue to be vigilant and to really double-check and fact-check po all of these informations coming out. Kasi lumalabas po, fake statement, fake page. Yun lang naman po.
Idadagdag ko lang po sa mga fake news peddlers, tatayuan po namin ang obligasyon namin at mandato po binigay sa amin ng Constitution, no matter what you do.
Maybe this is a good time also to thank kaya magtulungan po tayo to maintain integrity in media, maintain integrity in journalism, because you will be our partners in transparency and in accountability.
Again, gusto lang ho namin balikan yung sinabi po ni Congressman Noy Defensor, no? We respect the timeline of the Senate. We respect their decision when they will convert the institution into impeachment court. But we also expect these senator judges, to be impartial.
Likewise, I just echo the statement of Kong Zia that we trust and believe in our center judges, and that we trust that they would maintain that cold neutrality that would be required to properly and faithfully dispense with their functions as senator judges po.
Thank you. Rosalie Cas from UNTV, you're recognized.
Good morning, Kongs. Magduel lang po ako dun sa timing. Bakit po itiniming yung pong endorsement ng more than one-third ng House members ng fourth impeachment complaint? At ito nga po yung sinasabi ni SP Cheese na hindi pwede sa kanilang isisi yung pag-aksyon sa impeachment complaint dahil last session day nyo po in-endorse yun pong fourth impeachment complaint.
As one of the prosecutors, I won't point fingers to anyone. Na-transmit na namin sa Senado at we won't put pressure on the senator judges, and we won't put pressure on the Senate to convene as an impeachment court. It's just that the Constitution provides for a trial shall proceed forthwith. And ganun lang po, kasimple para sa amin as part of the prosecution. And that's what's stated in the Constitution, and we're not saying na minamadali namin sila.
So, ibig sabihin po, wala rin kayong anumang plano to compel the Senate? For example, maghain ng mandamo sa SC?
I have no idea of that move on the part of the House of Representatives. At personally, kahit ako, hindi ko gagawin yon to force the Senate. Rog, do you want to say something?
Well, no, I only have to agree. This is we can't speak for everyone, but I think everyone will agree. This is something that we will absolutely not do. We respect the Senate. Although we have the constitutional mandate to initiate the impeachment, the trial itself is a mandate of the Senate, and we respect that. And we look forward to the release of the rules po and how they will go about it.
Another question po. Total nababanggit nyo naman rin po yung diversionary tactics, pero one of your colleagues, si Representative Ungab, said diversion daw po from the real issue na 2025 budget controversies, yung impeachment versus VP Duterte. Ano po yung take nyo dito? And sabi niya rin po ay futile exercise na raw po dahil when Congress resumes on June 2, 6 session days na lang po ang meron at sinedya na po on June 13.
Congressman Sid Ungab is one of my most respected colleagues in 18th and 19th Congress. This is not a diversionary tactic to avoid any issue. We continue to urge those who want to investigate other matters regarding Congress and the budget. In fact, there are pending cases before the Supreme Court regarding the constitutionality of the budget. We are doing our constitutional mandate to act on the impeachment complaints. And we are also very careful that we will be acting on the proper, the appropriate, and the strongest complaint before we transmit that to the Senate. And since 215 members have already signed, it only goes to show that the confidence of the members of Congress in this impeachment complaint is very strong. So patuloy lang po ang pag-iimbestiga ng ibang bagay at ng ibang tao. At we will continue to do our duty as prosecutors and as Congress.
Dadagdag ko lang po, no. When a public official became true to what he or she yung acting on the oath that he or she takes, that's not diversionary tactics. That is expected of him, and maintaining and upholding the rule of law. Alam po natin dito na merong complaint na prior to the the second mode, I guess, ang ginawa po natin yesterday. I think that's the third mode, no? When we gathered all the signatures, no, yung 1/3 of signatures, it's not really diversionary tactic. It's acting on these complaints and upholding what is given to us as part of our obligation by the constitutions. It's not really. We should not be faulting anybody or any members of the House of Representatives to be true to what he took as oath of office, to be true to the Constitution and to act on what the Constitution expects of him or her when there's a valid complaint submitted before the House as far as impeachment of these highest or high officials enumerated under the Constitution is concerned.
Last follow-up na lang po. Nagkaroon ba ng chance yun pong 215 na mambabatas na pag-aralan po yung fourth impeachment complaint? Kasi we understand kahapon lang po sila pumirma, kahapon lang din po sila nanumpa. Tama po ba? They sworn tungkol dun sa impeachment complaint. Dahil meron din pong allegation si Representative Pulong Duterte na ni-railroad po yung impeachment against VP Duterte.
Nabigyan sila ng kopya, nabasa nila yung impeachment complaint bago sila pumirma.
In addition lang po, no, as Kong Noy mentioned, there was also party consultation, so they were actually part of the crafting of the complaint. So from the start to the finish po, our members have been informed.
Gusto lang po natin emphasize, no, 215 members of the House are the complainants. So wala pong, ito pong proseso na ito ay nandyan po sa ating saligang batas. Hindi po railroading. That's just what is one of the ways on how to forward the impeachment to the Senate. No, wala pong railroading. It's laid down in the House in the Constitution that once you secured a 1/3 of complainants from the membership of the House of Representatives, then it goes directly to the plenary.
Thank you. We will take a question now from Marian Enriquez of TV5.
Good morning po. Follow-up lang po ko dun sa questions nila Ate Rose and Ate Vivian regarding nga po sa statement ni Senate President Jesus Cordero na yun nga, medyo unfair daw na 2 buwan po nating inupuan dito sa Kamara. Ito po nga mga impeachment complaints. So I just wonder po, what really happened doon sa 2 buwan po ng since December may party consultations, I understand, and hindi nyo naman po minamadali no, kung kailan po sila magko-convene, and understandably, June pa, kasi may session. Pero wala po ba kayong regrets na tutuluyan din naman po palang impeach si VP Sara, pinaabot nyo po sa last session? Were there any regrets? What happened po really? Like, naka-apekto rin po ba? Ano yung influence, of course, of the President, may mga considerations like the elections, the campaign. Baka pwede po kayo mag-share ng sentiment niyo.
No regrets because we filed the best impeachment complaint there is. And we leave it to the Senate for them to study it, for them to prepare their rules, update their rules of procedure for the impeachment trial. And we leave it to each and every senator to study the impeachment complaint and the articles of impeachment. Kaya po sinasabi namin na kahit tumagal sa amin, ay nabigyan naman ng panahon ng mga partido na magkonsulta at magsuri, and we will give that same opportunity to the senator judges once they convene as the impeachment court. It's just that it's the Constitution, not Congress, who says that trial shall proceed forthwith. That is why when the Senate President said that we will study the complaint, we will update our rules, and we will prepare, we will respect that.
I agree po with Kong Noy, and in addition po, no, I just think the personal opinion po, I can't speak for everyone, but I think that the Congress is just trying to stick to its duty, constitutional mandate, in that it is the initiation of the complaint is lodged with Congress. We want to come up with the best complaint possible. The timing, I guess, would be not irrelevant po, no? It would be coincidence. It's not deliberate. So we've just taken the most time that we can. It is really a process of consensus building and coming up with the best complaint possible. So any insinuations of deliberate timing, I think, would just be a coincidence.
Sa akin lang, I'm not part of the prosecution, pero no regrets. We're simply ready.
Thank you. Dwight Dilon from Rappler.
Hello po, good morning po. Just more on the inside story of what happened. Sino po yung nag-coordinate nung caucus kahapon? Tapos paano na-coordinate yung meeting na yun?
The party leaders.
And also po pala, who drafted or who helped draft the complaint, the fourth complaint?
Unfortunately, I wouldn't be able to answer fully po, no? But from our understanding with the same parties, it would be our party leaders po. For example, in my case, I was contacted by the PCFI. So I think it's the same po with all of our other members. So the answer would lie with them po.
Okay po. And what was the prevailing sentiment among lawmakers who did not sign? I understand you can't speak for, let's say, the people who are closely allied with the Dutertes who have been vocal for a few months now about against impeachment. Pero sa lakas, there were at least a dozen lawmakers who did not sign the impeachment. Sa NUP, I think there are some. Sa PCFI, parang mas mixed yung division between people who signed and did not sign. Ano po yung prevailing sentiment? Bakit hindi nila pinirmahan? Were they taking into consideration kung the coming elections? Dahil, syempre, there's a possibility of upsetting the Duterte base.
Well, first of all, for those who did not sign, it did not affect or it will not affect their standing as members. Wala kaming masabing masama sa kanila. Maybe it's safe to say that for those who did not sign, there are personal dynamics within their jurisdiction kung bakit hindi sila makasign. Maybe there are personal relations that they took into consideration whether they will sign or not. And we respect that. Marami kaming pumirma, marami din naman silang hindi pumirma. Kaya masasabi mong walang pilitan at walang regret ang hindi pumirma, wala ring regret ang pumirma.
Naging factor po ba yung INC block vote? Kasi last month po, they held a rally opposing the impeachment of the Vice President.
In all our districts, especially sa party list, kasi national ang kanilang coverage, we will continue to serve as members of the House. We will continue to provide service and assistance as government officials to every Filipino, whether they are Catholic, they are INC, whether they are from Mindanao, Visayas, or Luzon. Personally, it did not affect para sa amin. This is a judgment call as part of the House of Representatives, as lawyers, that there are serious and grave grounds to consider an impeachment trial. Kaya po pumirma ako. It's part of my duty to participate in an impeachment trial where there is a clear violation of the provisions of the Constitution, especially if there is betrayal of public trust and high crimes. Kaya yun lang po ang naging konsiderasyon and nothing else.
And last na lang po from my end, why risk the possibility of being challenged at the Supreme Court? Especially since, while you have this view that the House can, the Senate can conduct a trial on break. It's not like a universal view. Of course, that will be, the Duterte camp might exhaust all possible avenues to delay the trial, kakatok sila sa Supreme Court. Why did you not siguro wait until next Congress na lang bago i-initiate yung impeachment complaint? Why is this so urgent?
I have been part of the Committee on Constitutional Amendments since my very first day in Congress. And every opportunity for Congress or Senate to elevate an issue to the Supreme Court gives us more clarity when the Supreme Court interprets the Constitution, not only in amending the Constitution, but in interpreting impeachment proceedings under the Constitution. If this move by the House of Representatives to file the impeachment complaint and transmit it to the Senate and see if it can pursue an impeachment trial even during the break, if this will be challenged before the Supreme Court, we welcome it, so we will settle this issue once and for all.
From my end, no, this legal recourse available to the other parties should not be a deterrent for the House to act on its constitutional mandate. So, yun po yung aking palagay na hindi po, sabi nga po ni Congressman Noy Defensor, na if there are high crimes, violations, especially kung yung first three articles, culpable betrayal of public trust, culpable violations of the violation of the Constitution, these are high crimes. I think, tapos couple that with an actual complaint submitted and endorsed by members of this House, I think the House should not be tied up with how the other parties would, as a matter of legal recourse available to them, na tied up kami doon sa magiging response ng other parties. So, focus lang po ang House of Representatives doon sa pagbibigay liwanag at pagbibigay diin at pagbibigay primacy consideration doon po sa mga final na mga impeachment complaint dito po sa House of Representatives.
Just to add lang po, no, and I agree with si Kong Noy, just to reiterate, the timing is a consequence of consensus building and building a proper case that most congressmen would see fit to be filed as a basis of the impeachment complaint. That the timing now would lend itself vulnerable to any challenge. I agree 100% fully with Kong Noy. We have to pursue our constitutional mandate to file this complaint, and we eagerly anticipate any clarification that the Supreme Court may provide on this matter.
Thank you po.
Thank you. Yanes Kapanti from GMA Online. You have the floor for your question.
Hello, sir. Good morning po. You mentioned po kanina this impeachment complaint is a long time coming. So, would you say that this impeachment of the Vice President is a logical conclusion given what you've discovered during the House inquiry?
Personally po, no, I can't speak for everyone else, but I believe I mentioned that it's a long time coming. We all had our own personal opinions that came out of, for example, yung Quad Committee and the Good Governance committees. But personally, as an active member of those committees, I feel that this is culmination and vindication of the findings that we have had there.
I guess this is a logical conclusion of what we have been discussed during those previous committee hearings, that the end result would be the actual filing of the impeachment complaint.
This is also a logical conclusion of the actuations of the Vice President herself. Nobody told her to go live on video and say that she has contracted somebody to kill the President, the wife of the President, and the Speaker of the House of Representatives. That is a direct threat to the life of the Chief Executive, the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, as well as the House of Representatives, the Speaker of the House of Representatives. So clearly, as a Vice President, you do not do that to the President if you are to succeed, if that happens. This is clearly a betrayal of public trust and a high crime as considered by the framers of the Constitution. Mabigat po ito. This is a grave and serious offense to the Constitution.
Follow-up, sir. Balikan ko lang yung sa sinabi ni Senate President Escudero. Kasi pinoint out niya na you took time in deciding on the impeachment. As far as you're concerned, kailangan bang kumilos ng Senado at the same pace of the House of Representatives when you have different functions? I mean, the House clearly is for the prosecution and the Senate is for trial, and then he compares it with you. I mean, yun ang kanyang indication na why would they move why would they move quickly when you took time, when you have do you think it's a logical comparison given you have different mandates in this case?
Yeah, you're right. It's not comparable. As a lawyer, we always follow the court, we always follow the judge. If the judge will reset your case next week or next month for hearing, you follow that. Diba? And we will do that with the Senate. If the Senate says that we will convene at this hour, at this day, as lawyers for the prosecution, we will follow that. And we will respect that.
Thank you. Tina Panganiban Perez from GMA7.
Sir, additional question lang po from my office. Just in case po, kasi we know naman in the rules that prosecutors are elected by the body. So, ano po yung criteria na ginamit po ninyo, and will those same criteria be adopted in the 20th Congress?
Well, we can't really speak for the criteria. It's in general. I think it's not an exact criteria po, no? Kasi wala naman po sa rules, wala sa Constitution. But as you can see, they've selected congressmen with relevant experience po. I think the first and the most obvious would be being members of the bar. And how it's, like I mentioned, it's not an exact criteria. It's just how we were elected. And sorry, may we hear the second part of the question po ulit? Is this the consequence of the 20th Congress?
If same will be adopted in the 20th?
Well, it would really depend. I don't think it could be the same. It would depend on the 20th Congress. If there is a new composition, and if ever there will now be criteria in the rules, then that would be followed. But there's no assurance po that there would be the same process po now.
Sir, of the 11, did anyone volunteer to be a prosecutor?
To volunteer, none that I know of, none that stepped forward. We were elected by our peers, and we accepted it as our constitutional duty. But again, I cannot speak for the other prosecutors. I'm only assuming that the experience would be the same as mine.
Idadagdag ko lang po, no, kasi siyempre, alam ko po itong dalawang kasama ko dito, isa sila sa mga humble na mga members po ng House. Ang nabuo po na prosecutor, lahat po magagaling, ang mga abogado na mga membro ng House. Ito po sa mga prosecution team, ang gagaling po nila ng mga litigator. Yun lang po. Kasi alam ko hindi nila sasabihin yun.
Thank you. Let's call on Red Mendoza from Manila Times.
Hi po. I know na medyo mabibigat yung mga tanong ko. First off, kasi I know that the Dutertes are very, very much popular, and they still are very much popular. So, of course, it's election time, 2025, especially malapit na yung campaign season. And I'm seeing posts on social media na yung ilang mga pumirma ng impeachment complaint, tinatanggalan na yung mga mukha nila sa mga posters nila dahil sa galit nila sa impeachment. There is a considerable blowback against doon sa mga pumirma, doon sa mga prosecutors and all. So, in your opinion po ba, kayo mga pumirma, would it affect your electoral chances sa 2025 election given na the people still support the Dutertes, and of course, may sa inyo may mga kalaban na pwedeng gamitin yung mga kalaban ninyo as a leverage against your bids?
Well, if someone from Mindanao, alam ko po yan. Naintindihan ko, hindi ko lang ho naintindihan, nararamdaman ko po. Pero tama po yun, once you're elected to an office, you are expected, not only by the Constitution, by the people, to act on a certain ways. No? Kailangan you have to maintain and uphold the integrity of your office. And similarly, we expect our fellow public servants to do the same. Ito pong sa impeachment case na ito, nasabi po kanina ni Boss Noy, that there are serious offenses, high crimes committed by a certain, by the Vice President. So we cannot turn blind eye and be more concerned about the possible backlash that it may cost us politically. Of course, that's a consideration. Sino ba naman po ang hindi nag-iisip ng ganun? But this is already an issue of being a public servant. Secondary line yung pagiging politician. It's a value judgment call, sabi nga ni na paano mo ihaharap ang sarili mo sa mga tao na sasabihin mong bawal ang mag-threat sa kapwa-tao. Much more kung isang sitting presidente. Paano mo ihaharap ang sarili mo at sabihin mo na dapat walang korupsyon sa bansa? Paano mo ihaharap ang sarili mo na bawal mag-bribe sa tulad nating kawani ng gobyerno kasi gusto lang natin makuha kung ano ang ninanais nating resulta? Paano natin iharap ang sarili natin sa ating taong bayan na sasabihin mong kung ang mandated na isang ahensya ang magbigay at mag-audit tapos binigyan ng mandato ng isang konstitusyon ang isang ahensya para kunin ito at suriin kung paano ginasta ang taong bayan, sabihin mong sabihin mong dapat i-uphold yun, paano namin iharap? Ako lang, I'm not speaking for the entire membership of the House. Paano ko iharap ang sarili ko sa aking mga botante? If I turn a blind eye and just simply concern myself with the possible popularity that I may get once if I associate myself with who is popular and who has the tendency or the capacity to give me votes in the election. Hindi naman maganda sa isang serbisyo publiko na for the 3 years being a congressman na elekta sa opisina na yun, na nagsumpa ka sa saligang batas, harap ng tao at harap ng Diyos, na itong mga ethics na dapat sundin ng isang serbisyo publiko ay babaliwalain mo lang just because you are more concerned of the popularity that you may get or the votes that you may get. Paano namin para sa akin, paano ko po iharap ang sarili ko sa aking mga botante if I turn blind eye on these high crimes that were committed blatantly under the sun, no? Kumbaga parang so much blatantly that we cannot even ignore to a point that I can no longer turn a blind eye on these allegations and just simply brush it off simply because I am from Mindanao. I think it's time for us to be more circumspect in really trying to approach the issue when it comes to a certain area na sasabihin natin na hindi to pwedeng gawin ng isang publiko na dapat ang magiging basis natin yung pagiging Pilipino natin rather than yung pagiging regionalistic po natin. I think it's high time that we should approach the issue based on our being patriotic as not just as a public servant but as a Filipino because we are all of us are expected to uphold the Constitution and it's our civic duty to promote yung decency in public office.
Kong Lawrence.
There certainly will be consequences to every elective official. But if I did not sign this impeachment complaint, and if I did not accept the election as prosecutor, coming from Iloilo, there will be far bigger and worse consequences if I turn my back on violations of the Constitution and I will not do my constitutional duty to prosecute it.
Congrats.
That is a political question, and we will see the results in the May 2025 elections. And that is the sacred right of every Filipino people to decide who their representatives will be. But insofar as we're concerned with the constitutional duty to pursue this impeachment complaint, we will do our duty without fear or favor. not to be decided by popularity, but to side with truth and justice. Yun lang po.
Last na lang po on my end. Kasi you said, Kong Lawrence, na you're going to do information campaign sa grassroots. You're going to use the campaign, the local election campaign to siguro push the people na ito yung desisyon namin na in-impeach si VP Sara. Ito yung naging desisyon namin, ito yung facts, ito yung naging articles of impeachment. Are you going to use that as possible campaign material po ba when the local campaign begins in March?
Not necessarily campaign material, but I have a platform since it's election, and it's my duty to educate my voters, my citizens in my district, to understand what the impeachment is about and what are the allegations all about. It's their duty to understand that there is a constitution and there are limits to what elective officials can do and not do under the Constitution. So isasama ko po yan. Bakit nangyayari ito? Ano ang dapat nating gawin? At intindihin nyo kasi tuwing bumoboto kayo, kada eleksyon, yung mga opisyal na nakaupo, dapat magsilbi yan sang-ayon sa ating konstitusyon. Dapat alalahanin nila na ang pwesto nila sa gobyerno ay utang na loob nila sa tao. And it's not a cause for them to abuse their power when they're in government.
Okay na po. Ano lang po, kasi of course, are you going to use the local campaign to, kasi nga sabi ni Kong Lawrence, you're going to do an information campaign. So, are you going to inform the public regarding the articles of impeachment, siguro as part na rin ng kampanya?
Well, I think they deserve also. It's not a matter of us educating them. They deserve to know.
In addition to that lang po, I don't think it would be using the campaign. I think our constituents themselves will be asking us. Sila na magvo-volunteer ng question. There is a lot of confusion and they would like to understand the reasoning for our actions here in Congress. And we will deliver. We will answer those questions and hopefully it will enlighten po our constituents.
Thank you for this press conference because this is part of the information dissemination to the public and to all Filipinos na maintindihan nila ang proseso ng impeachment at bakit nangyayari ito.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Red. The next question will come from Gab Lalu of Inquirer Online.
Sir, short lang. Kapag pinayagan kayo ng Senate na kumuha ng private prosecutor, kukuha po ba kayo? And meron na bang options or premature pa?
Yeah, we will sit down first internally, and if the rules provide, then we'll let the leadership or the lead prosecutor decide on that. Rog, tama?
I agree fully. As we mentioned, we don't have any formal structure yet, but everything, as soon as we have information, we'll be sure to let you know.
Thank you, Gab. Lianes Capanti from GMA Online.
Sir, may appeal lang from the Makabayan block, and yan, they are one of the complainants. Magko-consider ba kayo hiring private prosecutor from the ranks of the complainants? Not necessarily yung Makabayan lang, pati basta yung tatlong grupo na yun. There are lawyers in their ranks. Are they being considered as part of the prosecution team bilang private prosecutors?
We can't speak for the wisdom of the lead prosecutor, seeing as no one is designated yet. But we won't say no to anything po. We can't decide yet now, and should we have more information, we'll let you know po.
Personally, we are open to welcoming more prosecutors, especially from the private complainants. Yes.
Just to add to that, no, of course, the prosecution team wants to see, wants to see, kasi kaya nga may impeachment tayo because that's actually what the prosecution wants to see, di ba? A conviction. So, if it will reinforces, no, yung strength ng prosecution, then I don't see any reason why there shouldn't be any other additional, no, private lawyers. But again, that would be discussed and that would be decided by the prosecution team internally. And with the leadership, of course.
Sir, ano lang pahabol, may humabol pa ba sa 215?
As mentioned by Congressman Zia, I believe that some congressmen have signified their intent to add themselves as complainants. I forgot the number, but I think it was 2025 na po. 24. So 239 as of now in counting. But as Kong Noy mentioned, the decision of whether or not they would be allowed to be, amended into the complaint as additional complainants would depend on the rules of the Senate when they release the rules for impeachment. So it would depend there. But as it stands, with 215 complainants, which is more than 1/3 required, the impeachment is sufficient naman po in form and substance, we believe.
Dadagdag ko lang yung 1/3 na vote based on the actual membership. Na 306 ata yung members, no? So that's 102. So it's more than the required number of signatures for the plenary to act on the impeachment complaint directly to the plenary.
Sirs, meron lang dalawang phone-in questions from Earl Tobias of IBC News. One of the grounds for impeachment, Article 5, says the respondent committed high crimes, including the high crime or murder. Paano po nagsimulang mabuo ito at paano ang magiging paglalatag ng ebidensya?
I hope you understand that we wouldn't be ready to talk about this in detail, given that this would be an active case and we would be preparing for it. But in general, po, Article 5 in relation to respondent committed other crimes, including the high crimes of murder and conspiracy to commit murder, is in relation to extrajudicial killings. Po.
Thank you. Another phone-in question from Kenneth Basilio of Business World. Would President Marcos be calling for a special session to allow the Senate to start BP Duterte's impeachment?
We cannot speak for the President. We cannot speak for the Executive Department. And we respect the separation of powers. We even respect our separation with the Senate as the prosecution and as senator judges. So we won't speak on that.
Oh, okay. Sandro Ochoa from Billionaire TV. Okay. Hindi, ito nga.
Follow up na lang.
Hindi, before you pala, sorry. Chris Subing from Inquirer. Nawala eh.
Sir, sorry. How confident po ba yung prosecution team na you'll get a conviction po?
We're very confident. In fact, 215 already signed. So it means that the impeachment complaint is very strong, and the arguments for the articles of impeachment is based and grounded on solid evidence that would secure a conviction.
Krisha?
Members po ng prosecution panel po, I noticed are neophyte lawmakers po. And in contrast, yung mga posibleng maging senator judges, for example, Lauren Legarda, she has seen 2 previous impeachments. So, can you talk about strategy on facing the future senator judges po?
We won't tell you our strategy, that's for sure. But during the course of our preparation, we will update you. But certainly, there will be strategizing, but I won't tell you about it.
Thank you, Krisha. Janelle Subing from Inquirer. Okay, guys, for today's last question, we call on Mela Lismoras from PTV4.
Hi, good morning, Kongs. Isa lang naman po itanong ko. Kahapon kasi sa plenary session, sinabi nga ni Speaker Romualdez, as the 19th Congress nears its conclusion, let it be clear our commitment does not wane with time. It strengthens, it sharpens. Marami na tayong nagawa, pero hindi pa tapos yung ating mission. Just lalo na yung mga kababayan natin nakaabang yung sa mga hearings, sa mga bills dito sa House. Ano po yung mga ine-expect pa ng ano pa yung mga pwedeng expect ng ating mga kababayan bago matapos yung 19th Congress? Kasi we understand meron pa tayong fake news hearing, meron pang murang pagkain super committee, yung wage hike bill nasa second reading pa lang. Ano po yung mga pwedeng asahan ng ating mga kababayan, yung commitment pa ng Kamara hanggang bago nga po magtapos yung 19th Congress?
Yes. Patuloy-tuloy pa rin po yung ating mga committee hearings. No? Alam ko on recess tayo, pero may mga pending legislation po pa po na considered to be priority ng ating leadership. So tuloy-tuloy na po yan. Tama po yung sinabi mo. Andyan din po yung TRICOM. I think, hindi ako nagkakamali, magkakaroon din po ng follow-up hearings ang TRICOM. Maybe ang Quad, magkakaroon din po ng succeeding hearings while on break. Pangalawa, yung tanong niyo po kanina, do we expect na ano? Unang-una, we have already delivered 100% yung mga nasa LEDAC priorities. So ito po yung kaya nga po tayo ngayon ay we have more time to conduct investigation in aid of legislation to mga inquiries because we have already fulfilled and delivered the LEDAC priorities, no, as indicated doon sa mga priorities po ng ating administration. So of course, while on break, magkakaroon din, expect po na mayroon pong mga hearings na ano. So marami po kung kayong trabaho, House Media Corps. So marami po tayong gagawin pa.
So just in addition lang po, no, I mean, I think Kong Zia summarized it well. There was plenty of action that would allow the committee chairman to have their hearings during the break. And I think, although I think it was already briefly mentioned by Kong Zia, contrary to popular belief, Quadcom is not meant for persecution. Tuloy pa rin po yung ating inquiry. I believe last time we're picking up from yung investigation into yung TARA system, yung sa BOC. We also have further investigation into yung drug syndicates that were in relation to the BOC, yung smuggling. And of course, we also have yung TRICOM, which only was organized last week. So we hope that we could still pursue this. I understand Chair Ace is very enthusiastic about this. Of course, it's headed by Chair Dan, though. So Chair Ace has yung sa privilege speech, and then si Chair Dan as yung lead chairman for that committee. And of course, I believe the Murang Pagkain Super Committee, as you mentioned, will also be pursuing further investigations po into yung how we could lower yung food prices. So tuloy pa rin po ang trabaho ng Kongreso in spite of although popular belief daw is pag election wala na po, that is not true. We will continue to pursue our duty, both legislative and constitutional. So yun po.
Thank you. Before we conclude our press conference, we invite our honorable House leaders to give their short closing remarks.
Maraming salamat po sa pagkakataong binigay niyo sa amin, magbigay ng liwanag tungkol sa impeachment complaint na nakatransmit ngayon sa Senado. At makakaasa po kayo that we will be models of statesmanship in the conduct of this impeachment trial, and we will be as transparent as possible, and we will accord due process to all parties so that they will be given a fair trial so that justice can be served for the Filipino people. Maraming salamat po.
Likewise, thank you po sa inyo, our friends in the media. I understand there were a lot of questions, and I'm sure there are more questions. Hindi pa namin masagot lahat. We will try to fulfill our duties and mandate faithfully, and once we have more information that we could share, we will be more than willing po to let you know. So we'll keep you updated, and we hope to have more of this. Thank you very much po.
Para po sa akin, maraming salamat po sa ating mga media friends sa pagkakataon ito. Naliwanagan po yung mga gusto nyong maliwanagan. Sana po ay nakapagbigay kami ng mga information at mga update po sa inyo para po mas mapaganda at mas maliwanag itong usapin na ito ng impeachment po. So ako po ay masaya dahil kasama ko po itong dalawang prosecutors na ito, mga magigiting, mga gandang lalaki, mga galing na mga miyembro po ng House. Again, we thank you, our media friends, our media partners. We thank you for your time, and we hope that we can engage with you more as we go along with this impeachment process. Marami pong salamat. Magandang hapon po sa ating lahat. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Deputy Majority Leader Lawrence Defensor, and One Rider Party List Representative Rolls Gutierrez, who are both members of the 11-man House Prosecution Panel, and House Assistant Majority Leader Zia Alonto Adjong for joining us today. To everyone, magandang tanghali, maraming salamat po. At sa mga ko-cover ng national campaign, ingat po tayong lahat.